Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 63. We are here reviewing the 58th episode of the ReZero anime, known as The One I'll Love Someday. This adapts from pretty much the rest of chapter book 18. Now, I did look up basically, I remember I was rereading the ending of this very book here. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I've seen this ending before. The last few pages of this book. And because of Otto and the Archbishop Gluttony, it turns out this was actually adapted already. In episode 3. Yes. So, a lot of this episode is this. Basically, we have a strategy meeting where we have all of the members of the Resistance. We have Subaru, Ryan. By the way, there's a flashback, I believe it was in chapter 4. They had also that adapted earlier too. Yeah, that was adapted in an episode that featured Reinhardt based, I think it was just a couple episodes ago. I think how long ago it was basically Felt Seen. I'm thinking it was I think it was episode 6. Yes, that was actually the second thing I encountered here, was that they put 2 scenes in these last 2 chapters in early episodes. My guess is they did that just to make sure that the whole book is adapted, which good on them for doing that. So at the strategy meeting we have Subaru, Al, that's weird. There's some sirens nearby. So, Otto, Al, Subaru, Anastasia, I believe Julius is there. Garfield is there. Pretty much everybody who's there, who's been featured. Even Ricardo's there too. Wilhelm is there too as well. And Reinhardt. Everybody basically plans to do what, they mentioned about the whole thing about the Tomb of Wisdom, where the whole thing with Super, he basically knew about one being destroyed. So apparently, the reason why Otto disappeared for a bit was because he actually, of course, they explain a little later on, he actually got his hands on a Tomb of Wisdom. The way it's described here, of course, they explain also in the previous episode, that a Tomb of Wisdom is a prototype of the Witch Cult's gospel that gives them their power. And basically later on it's revealed that Otto got his hands on one of these somehow, except it was burned. Now, and apparently also you see a brief flashback to Roswell Mathers, which he doesn't speak in the episode, but it's interesting we see him. This is the first time we see in the season's episode 1. In case you're curious though, has the anime been cutting scenes of him out? No, not really. And there is a reason for that. Because he is not a player in this arc. He was a primary player in the last arc of the series. Yeah. But nice to see him. Wilhelm basically reveals about the 2 people who they fought in the previous episode. The big guy is H-Arm Coogan. And the woman is his late wife, Teresa. Which, of course, that they do keep this in from the book. That Wilhelm tells Subaru, do not tell Reinhardt the fact that he fought Reinhardt's grandmother. It's explained, apparently, that the divine protection that she had prior to her death at the hands of the White Whale, about 15 years prior to the series, that it went to Reinhardt, and apparently Wilhelm didn't forgive him for it. Eventually, they did reconcile. So, they formulate a plan out there. Also, Priscilla's there too with Luna, which she has only appeared in 3 or 4 episodes this whole season so far. So, they formulate a plan to deal with the 4 archbishops. That being the archbishops of Gluttony, Wrath, Lust, and Greed. Now, in the case of Wrath, that is basically Priscilla and Latina basically taking them on. Also, Ryan gets a new ability too. Reinhard and Subaru will handle Regulus. Lust will be handled by, I think it's going to be Garfield and Ricardo. Which Ricardo basically is like, wait, volunteer me for this. Well, why not? And also in the case of Garfield, because, well, it's payback for what happened to the young girl who basically protected Garfield, who was also in love with him. I think she's like 15-ish. And you think, okay, what about Anastasia? She's here. Basically, Sheen Willingham will stay at the headquarters for defense. And they also bring up like our first split, basically Beatrice. I like the fact basically what we're perhaps strategizing here in this episode. And then they go on the set mission. And meanwhile, though, at the church where Amelia is supposed to marry Regulus, she basically talks about love and, well, stuff of proper marriage. In the case of Regulus, it's like, as a condition for marrying me, you cannot smile or express any emotion at all. Basically, he thinks of his wives as dolls and pieces of wood that he can basically punch whenever he feels like it. And apparently, he mentions, oh, I've kept number 79 basically, like, there's also, he was missing someone else basically he wanted, but he later rejected her, and he specifically wanted Amelia. So, and of course, she's want to go through the marriage. He does want, it seems like he kind of was against it. He kind of basically rejects the thing, and then, like, the wives basically, like, don't move, and of course, basically threatens to kill all of them. The episode ends on a really awesome note, where basically Regulus is speaking, and then all of a sudden, the church door is kicked in, because they found out where he was, and they right on him. Yeah, I thought it was just kind of funny. And it's basically Reinhard and Subaru kicking at the same time. He says, I objected you, and we have Amelia smiling. Of course, basically gets up, like, who are you two? He's like, I'm Subaru Natsuki, her knight, and this is Reinhard von Hasch. But yeah, great ending to the episode, and this is something I don't like. Okay, according to what I've been reading online, this is the end of Core 1. Now, you're probably thinking, what? 8 episodes of Core? Which makes no freaking sense at all. According to my anime list, basically they're pretty accurate about this, there's no mention of a basically break. Not at all. Basically, Wikipedia is getting information from the second article. In the case of my anime list, they don't get that information about that. Not really. But in the case of, like I keep mentioning about the article, according to the first article of the season, is that it was mentioned this was going to be about 35, about 36 episodes. And it was going to be adapting 10 books. And then another article came out, for some strange reason, where it said, oh, it's not going to be 36 is going to be 16, but it's going to be split in 2 cores, 8 episodes, adapting 1 arc, and setting up more characters. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, it's like, basically, it's like, why the heck would basically White Fox basically lie about an episode count like this? Generally put, the previous 2 seasons of the show both had exactly 25 episodes apiece. Now, from what I read in the case of the first season of the show, it had 25 straight episodes with no break, no split half. Season 2 did do this. This season, for some reason, they decided to continue the core concept, except basically instead of being about 12, 13 episodes, it's 8. I'm like, why? This makes no freaking sense at all. Now, do I think that this book is fully adapted for the show? The answer is yes, it is. So, in 58 episodes, they have adapted 18 books out of what's been released, I think it's like 39 released in Japan. 26 apparently just came out, but I'm going to wait to get my hands on my Christmas wish list to get that one. But it all depends upon if, in fact, we have an episode coming out next week. I really hope so, that we have one next week. And I really hope, that this other article is nothing more than a lie. Because the whole thing of the episode count and the core thing is quite stupid. And I'm sure White Fox is probably got a lot of criticism over the episode count, because people like episode counts nowadays, and like the biggest example of a studio getting a lot of criticism for an episode count was, I believe it was the studio behind Attack on Titan, where the first season was like about 26 episodes, and then for some reason season 2 is 12 episodes, and people are like, wait, what, that's it? And then we have season 3 come along, where it's like, oh crap, it's going to be some, oh no, it's actually 2 course. Okay, good. And then we have season 4, which, oh my gosh, this went through 4 freaking course of like, sometimes 12, it's like first 16 and then 12 episodes. They stretched out that thing out basically for 4 years for no reason. But this one in particular, well, at least got to praise the fact that when this season started right now, here's the thing, it only been 3 years since we had season 2. And I was kind of surprised that we had it basically take 3 years for our season. I was kind of hoping when the season concluded that we get an announcement renewal. I didn't hear about the season until just last year. That's when I first heard about it. And in my opinion, this season's going to keep going. I don't think we're going to have a break, unless, of course, we'll have an episode next week. Okay? So, yeah, this particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Turn notifications, do this. But next up is basically the strongest magician demon summary was a human. Okay? Next view. Bye.